I was standing in a small office with Jan after her son's funeral. Was the victim of a senseless homicide in the middle of the night. Rodriguez had been born when Jan was only 13. Both of them had been in and out of prison. And now I was standing with Jan in this crowded, borrowed office after burying her only son. We exchanged thoughts and feelings about the day, and then Jan says this thing that takes my breath away. She says, I wish I could talk to the boy who shot my son. I want to hug him for a long time and tell him he'll probably spend the rest of his life. God has not abandoned him. She suffered more for her faith than even a martyr. She suffered the death of her only son and survived to love the enemy. I asked her if she would pray for us, and we knelt together in front of that desk in that sacred space that love created. And it was Easter, even though it wasn't Easter. Because that's Easter. I mean, Jan took the worst of what the world could throw at her, and she emerged on the other side of it. She may have been broken, but she was not beaten. She had every reason to be bitter, every reason to be hateful, every reason in the world to want to seek revenge, but she had not been overcome by any of that. She had been rescued by love. Love rescued her. Here's the deal, my friends. We have no business being here this morning. We shouldn't be here. There's no good reason for being here this morning. Friday should have been the end of the story. It should have been it. I mean, Jesus was crucified. He was murdered. He was nailed to a cross. He was dead. And with him, the movement that he came to create was dead too. He was crushed. And with him, our hopes and dreams for a better movement had been crushed too. And just to make sure that we got the message straight, they threw his body in a borrowed tomb. They rolled a great big stone in front of it. They put police tape all around it. And they sealed him away forever. 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 It was over. So we have no business being here today. None whatsoever. But here we are. Here we are. We are here because Jesus took the worst of what the world had to throw at him, and he emerged on the other side of it. We are here because Jesus may have been broken, but he was not beaten. We are here today because that stone got rolled away somehow in the middle of the night. Jesus was turned to the world, and he's back out there doing what he was doing before, loving the very people who betrayed him in the first place. Jesus may have been broken, but he was not beaten. He had every reason in the world to be bitter. Every reason in the world to be hate-filled. He had every reason in the world to seek revenge, but Jesus had not been overcome by it. By love. Love rescued him. Can I be honest with you? This is not how I would have done it. No, not by a long shot. Not after being betrayed. Not after being humiliated. Not after being beaten and mocked and left to die. Man, no. If I could have done it, man, I would have written the story different, man. It would have been like Pet Sematary. right, man? No, man, I would have been like John Wick, right, man? I'd have been like back, seeking revenge. Oh, man, I would have been all like WWE at the end of this, man. I'd be like ready to come off the top rope, man. I'd be Bruce Willis, dying harder, track of gasoline right to the airplane, lighter in hand. I'd be all like, I'm back! And now you all are gonna get it. Man, and I would be out there, I'd be rounding up all of my boys, all vigilante style, and the first stop would have been Pontius Pilate, and we would have been in there, and we would have been like, there's no way we were gonna ride in on donkeys this time. No, baby, if I came back, monster trucks. Totally monster trucks, man. We are rolling into Pontius Pilate in our Jesus monster truck. I found that on Google. You can find anything on Google. And I want to be honest, I want to meet this dude, right? I really want to meet this guy, but, right? I mean, I would have been rolling in all monster truck. I would have been like, my name is Jesus Christ. You killed my movement. Now prepare to die, right? Prepare to die. But that's not Easter. Easter is the surprising, stunning, almost unbelievable moment when everything within us says return hate for hate, return violence for violence, return evil for evil, yet somehow we choose the exact opposite. Somehow we choose peace when we have every right to choose war. Somehow we choose generosity when everything around us says, get as much as you can for you and yours. Somehow we choose forgiveness when we have every right to be bitter. Somehow we choose love. And that's Easter. And that's what rises again from the grave today. It's not just Jesus that gets resurrected. It's his way of being in the world that gets resurrected with him. Easter is the reminder that it's not just the person of Jesus that saves us. It's the way. It's Jesus' way that saves us as well. It's the way of Jesus that always saves the world. But here's the thing again. Man, if I was in charge of the story, I just would have done it different. I mean, I wish Jesus had done it up bigger. I mean, I wish he had made it more obvious. I mean, if I was in charge of this first Easter thing, man, it just would have been bigger. I mean, you know me, I'm Jeff Nelson. I'm Mr. Go Big or Go Home, right? I mean, look at, you want to know my message? Go out to the front of the church. I got an 18-foot sign on the front of the church that says, God loves you and there's nothing you can do about it. Go big or go home. We just printed up 600-yard signs and put them out through the neighborhood. Go big or go home, right? I mean, you want to have Palm Sunday? You can't do Palm Sunday without a drum line around here, right? You were here. Go big or go home. Somebody needs 500 socks? Man, we got to get them 5,000, right? Amy's like, amen, right? Go big or go home, you know? Make it big, make it splashy, make it noticeable. I mean, if I would have been in charge of the first Easter, man, there would have been a press conference. I would have had Beyonce do a music video. Right? I mean, we would have rented out the entire Little Caesars arena and we would have filled it with cheering fans. And there would have been a plane flying over the top of it, pulling behind a great big sign that says, he has risen indeed. But that's not Easter at all. Jesus doesn't do any of that. I mean, he's just kind of hanging out in the garden. Most people don't even realize he's there. They just think he's the gardener. I mean, the first moment that somebody realizes that Jesus was still alive is when Jesus approaches Mary, his dear friend, and he says her name. Mary. You know that moment. When your life's falling apart and you're hurting from the inside. And the right person just simply comes up and says your name. Mary. That's Easter. That's the kind of love that rescues us. It's not big. And it's not flashy. And it's not impersonal. It's small. And it's intimate. And it's deeply caring, and it's personal. It's so, so personal. And Easter calls you by your name. I mean, we bring out all the big stuff on Easter Sunday. So it's important to remember that this resurrected life and this love of Jesus may actually come to us in small and intimate moments of simple but profound caring. And isn't that the way love really can only come to us? The forces of despair in this world are strong. It's easy to look at the world right now and say, this is all there is. This is the way it simply is always going to be. The world of despair believes that there are no new gifts, no fresh generosity, no possibilities for newness or forgiveness, that life is simply a zero-sum game, and all you can do is stay in it as long as you can, try to climb to the top, knowing that there is no good outcome to the rat race altogether. You see the headlines this morning? Our brothers in Sri Lanka this morning woke up to the world of despair on Easter morning. A coordinated bombing attack. 8 places on Easter Sunday. People in their places of prayer. People in their places of vacation. The world of despair said, this is the end of the story. And I don't know about you, but some days I just really don't know if that isn't true. That the forces of despair are so big and they want to have the final say, but Easter love always, always, always finds the crack. It always finds the crack. Like that little crocus pushing its way up through the frozen ground. It says, out there, beyond the despair, beyond the road rage, beyond the violence against the poor and the wars and the divided church and mean-spiritedness and ruthless exploitation beyond a world where churches and hotels are bombed on Easter morning, there is an alternative world that rises with Jesus. In a world, it is a world of fresh gifts and fresh starts, grounded in divine forgiveness and sustained by generosity. It is a world that offers us the rescuing kind of love. Will you join me today in making a commitment to that kind of love? To a love that will rescue you today, that will rescue you every day. That might just rescue all of us every day. Can you join me in an act of resistance with hope and unexplained kindness? Can you be strangely generous? Can you be weirdly forgiving? Can you be intentionally gracious? These little small acts of love like Jesus coming up to Mary and simply saying her name. In the midst of her despair, every day let love be resurrected in you. And do it in small, intentional, deeply caring and personal ways. It is our act of resistance. I saw that kind of love this week. A new friend of mine, Amanda, reached out asking for prayers for her friends. This is what she wrote. She said, "Hi, Pastor. I'd like to request some prayers for some friends of mine. They have been foster parents for a while now. 2 years ago, they were contacted for an agency placement of 2 boys that were discovered in a deplorable situation, one that included abuse and neglect. The oldest boy was the protector and shouldered the burden of their situation the most. Well, as he started to heal, he had some mental health issues. They were pretty extreme, as you can only imagine. So the family's trying to make some tough decisions right now. But many experts have weighed in and they've decided that it's best for the time being to place the oldest boy in a 30-day inpatient treatment mental health facility. They're battling a broken system full of red tape, just trying to get him a bed. So all your prayers of strength for the family, healing for the boys, and treatment for the oldest would be much appreciated." And here was Easter. I stopped by and dropped off a red Power Ranger for the little brother. His big bro terribly. And it felt like a terribly small thing. I hope it helps. So any prayers would be helping a lot. Happy Easter, Amanda. This year, Easter looks like a red Power Ranger. A small, thoughtful, intimate, personal, deeply caring gift. In the midst of a situation that is too big to take on all at once, Amanda resisted the temptation to be in despair, and she showed up with the one thing she could show up with. She showed up with a Power Ranger and said, "It may not be much, but let it be Easter." Would you join me in doing something like that for our community? See, one thing that we're passionate about here at Royal Oak First is feeding people. Monday through Friday, 52 weeks a year, we serve a meal to anyone who shows up to eat. But here's the deal, it's just one meal. So I was talking to our neighbor, Becky, next door, who owns Pronto, the restaurant right next door to us. Right? I see all of you are like, "It's over there, preacher," right? We're going to put a tunnel right between us so immediately after service we can get over there and get a mimosa going forward, right? But Becky, our neighbor, she feeds people. We're passionate about taking care of hungry people. And when she learned that some 30 to 50 people eat here every day, and she didn't have any idea about it, and when she learned that that meal might be their only consistent meal of the day, she said, I think I can do something to help them at least know where one more meal is. Here's what Royal Oak First and Pronto, and I'm inviting you to help us do today. In the month of May, we're going to try something. We're going to try something called Do Good Dinners. Becky and her team are making a menu of several $10 dinners, and we can pre-buy them. And they'll go on the board at Pronto so that anytime anybody walks through the door and they're hungry and they can't afford it, they simply can walk up and take one that's already been paid for them. If I don't know if that's Easter, then I don't know what it is. They can come into Pronto and they can enjoy it. And more than just the food, for the time that they're in there, they'll be treated with kindness and dignity. And maybe someone will call them by name And on top of that, everyone who gets that will get a good neighbor card for 5% off the next time you eat there. And every time that you eat at Pronto in the month of May, they're going to give 5% back to our feeding program going on here. Let that sink in for a minute, friends. The downtown restaurant culture of Royal Oak is as competitive as it can be. Restaurants go in and out of business here all the time, trying to figure out how to make it. And our neighbor has gotten inspired by this Easter. I'm just going to give it away. And she says, it's not everything. It's small. It's caring. It's kind. It's personal, and it's Easter. And so on your way out, there'll be a spot for you to pre-buy a meal. Get someone a grilled cheese and a bowl of tomato soup, hamburger and some French fries, or some pasta bill without any meat in it. Because we know not everyone is a meat eater. That's what happens when people do that. If all you got today is your debit card, we'll be happy to take that too. Because if Jesus were alive today, he would have come back and said, yeah, I take credit. Friends, it's Easter. And it really only comes in small, intimate, caring, personal ways. Join me in this act of resistance. In a world where churches are bombed on Easter morning, we rise up and say, He is risen. He is risen indeed. Happy Easter, my friends.